What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Gonna be giving my initial thoughts on the Detective Pikachu mini set due out April 5th using PokeBeach.com. Really excited about these cards. I think they're a lot of fun. They're super cute. The movie looks amazing. The fact that Ryan Reynolds is going to be Pikachu is just blowing my mind, and I cannot express enough how much I am anticipating the release of this movie on May 10th. Full Grip Games is going to be partnering up with the promotional team from the Cleveland area for Detective Pikachu, so that's really exciting as well, and we're going to be giving away movie tickets to the movie on my Twitch streams as well as our local events and our Wednesday night tournaments here leading up to the release of the movie, so that's exciting as well. This mini set has a lot to offer in the way of cuteness. Not exactly sure how competitive some of these cards are going to be, though I do think at least this Ditto is pretty good and will potentially see some competitive play in the future. However, I just want to go over the set, talk about the cards a little bit, show them off. Every single card in the set is going to be holographic, which is super cool. Each pack comes with 4 cards in it, and there are 3 case file exclusive Pokemon GX from the movie, and they use actual CG animated characters from the movie in these cards, which I think is super dope as well. So there are over 25 cards, I think maybe 26 cards in this set. We've got this Bulbasaur here, which is super cute. I think that this is just adorable, and I can't actually believe that they are creating a real life Pokemon movie. That to me is astonishing. Find a friend, search your deck for a grass Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This actually would be a good Bulbasaur to play in a Venusaur deck if you were to build one, or if there was a Venusaur that was seeing play at the moment. This is actually a pretty good Venusaur. I love the artwork on this Ludicolo here. I think that is absolutely phenomenal. The Ludicolo in the trailer for the movie is super dope as well. Just very funny. Table service. Once during a turn before you attack, you may heal 30 damage for one of your Pokemon. A pretty good ability, however, being a stage 2 means that it's going to be a little tough to get into play. Morlul here has Sleep Spore. 10 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Charmander, I think, is super cute looking, and the fact that you can even see the blur around the fire that the gas from the fire is creating on the background is super cool looking, actually. I love the effect there on the card, and it's very nice. Reckless Charge, this Pokemon does 10 damage to itself, and then, of course, Charizard, which will be coming in holographic form. Look how epic this thing looks, just flying through the air like that. Slash for 70 and Wild Tackle for 180 damage for 4 energies. Not so bad. Does 50 damage to itself, but it is a 180 hit point non-GX Pokemon, so that is pretty substantial. Arcanine, I believe, works for the police department in the movie, so that is very cool. It's got an ability, Security Guard. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, all of your Pokemon take 30 less damage from your opponent's attacks. And then Sharp Fang does 90 damage. Pretty cool ability. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be super worth having it in the active position since its attack is not all that strong. This Psyduck here looks absolutely stunning. Very cool. Panic. This Pokemon's now confused. A very Psyduck attack. A 3 retreat cost. That is a pretty hefty retreat cost for a Psyduck, but 80 hit points is nice for a basic Pokemon that evolves. Magikarp, of course, 30 hit points. Looks hilarious. Very moist looking, actually. Its lips are kind of grossing me out. Hold Still. Heal 10 damage from this Pokemon. This Greninja I don't think is actually all that bad. This is pretty cool. It's got a nice ability. Evasion. Jutsu. If any damage done to this Pokemon by attacks, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. And then for 2 water energy, the Furious Shurikens does 50 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So I think that that's a pretty cool snipe attack. Greninja likes to snipe. We know this from all the past Greninja cards. So this is a pretty neat addition to the Greninja family. And I like that attack a lot. 50 damage to 2. We got the, of course, Frogadier that snipes 20 on evolution. So this Greninja could go with that Frogadier to create some pretty cool snipe deck. Detective Pikachu, and I love that there is detective in the Pikachu's name. That is very cool, which makes you wonder, can Detective Pikachu evolve into Raichu? I think probably not, right? Because Raichu evolves from Pikachu, and this is not Pikachu, this is Detective Pikachu. So Detective Pikachu, I believe, cannot evolve unless there is a Detective Raichu out there that I don't know about. Scout, your opponent reveals their hand and then surprise attack. Flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. Not a great card. However, Ryan Reynolds as a Pokemon card, pretty much a dream come true for me, so I will definitely want this for my own collection, and then if I could get it signed by Ryan Reynolds, I might just actually lose my mind. Mr. Mime. Everybody was giving Mr. Mime flack because when the trailer for the movie was first revealed, they were talking about him having dodgeballs for shoulder pads. And it appears like he does actually have dodgeballs as little arms there, shoulders. I think that that's kind of funny, though. He's got an ability, Pantomime. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may switch one of the face-down prize cards with the top card of your deck. Not exactly sure that this is better than any other kind of way to switch your prize cards out. I believe there's the Pokedex card or something like that that does it. So Pantomime, not the best ability. And then Juggling. Flip 4 coins. Attack does 20 damage for each heads. Nothing really to write home about. Mewtwo, however. Look how alien-esque he looks. Very nice. Psyjack for a Psychic and a Colorless. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks. That Pokemon can't use that attack during your opponent's next turn. It's actually kind of a useful attack. Any sort of things that limit your opponent's attacks are sometimes good. However, I think this being a little bit over costly here for a Psychic and a Colorless. And then Break Burn, discard 2 Psychic Energy from this Pokemon for 130. Not bad. I'm just not sure that this Mewtwo will be any better than, of course, the Distortion Door Giratina, which has already found its way into every single Malamar deck. Machamp, directing traffic, looking like a champ out there. It's got an attack directing traffic. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck and put them back in any order. A little bit underpowered for a stage 2 Pokemon to have an attack that doesn't even put any cards into your hand. And then Cross Chop, flip a coin of heads, it does 60 more damage for 2. Not that bad, but still on a coin flip, I'd want something a little bit more powerful. Jigglypuff, 60 hit points. It's got an attack, healing melody, heal 10 damage from each of your Pokemon. And a lot of people are commenting on the fact that Jigglypuff has fur, right? Which I think is actually fine. I'm not actually, I think it looks super cute. The eyes are super cute. I think Jigglypuff looks good. And excited to see what Jigglypuff brings to the movie. We've got Snubbull here. With super cool background, actually. This Snubbull looks pretty epic, not gonna lie. Haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about Snubbull as a Pokemon, but this rendition of Snubbull makes Snubbull look pretty epic. Play rough, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 more damage. Not a bad Snubbull. Of course, there are Grand Bull decks. You could choose to play the Snubbull in your Grand Bull deck if you wanted to, though I think that potentially the other Snubbull, which does damage and you have to like discard item cards or trainer cards or something like that, might be better for your Grand Bull deck. Lickitung, 100 hit points. Continuous Lick. Flip a coin until you get tails. Does 20 damage for each heads. Not exactly a card that we're ever going to be playing, but look at that realistic and slimy tongue. Yikes. All right. We've got Slacking here, an epic Pokemon who likes to doze off and kind of lounge about. 180 hit points. Definitely kind of ugly looking. It looks like Bigfoot or something like that. It's got an attack pitch. Your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their benched Pokemon. Not terribly insane on the attack front there. Very expensive. Stage 2 Pokemon. But this Ditto, the most playable card in the Detective Pikachu set. I think this thing is super cool. It's got 60 hit points and an attack for 1 colorless. Says copy anything. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. If this Pokemon doesn't have the necessary energy to use that attack, this attack does nothing. I think copy anything is very cool. A lot of times, these Pokemon that have these copying attacks maybe have an ability or something like that that allows them to do so, like Mew EX, or even I think there was like a Kecleon, but that Kecleon might not have had an ability. Anyways, sometimes these Pokemon have abilities which allow them to copy attacks. The Mew from Fates Collide also has an ability, so when these Pokemon's abilities get shut off, they can no longer copy attacks. This Ditto can copy any attack from your opponent's side of the field, so long as it has the energy necessary to do it, and you don't need your abilities. So you could do it under Mucklock, you could do it under Garbodor Lock, which I think is really cool. So Rainbow Energies, Prism Energies, Blend Energies, things like that can allow Ditto to unlock a lot of powerful attacks on your opponent's side of the field, which I think is super cool, right? You could easily copy things such as Dangerous Rogue, with just 2 energies attached if you're playing rainbows in your deck or something like that. It's a cool option for Malamar as well. You could copy your opponent's Ultra Necrozma's attack, right, with a non-GX. I think that's very powerful. I think it'll go good in decks that accelerate energy like Malamar, potentially Blastoise in expanded format. You could use copy anything to copy one of your opponent's attacks, even a Wailord, right? You could hit into a Wailord or something like that. Super cool Pokemon. I think that the potential of this thing will be untapped at some point, but very, very strong, and it's going to be holographic. So if there was no other reason to buy Detective Pikachu packs, this Ditto is probably the primary reason. Super cool Pokemon, and I am very excited to see how that Ditto gets played in the future. Another cool thing about the Detective Pikachu set is that they are going to be doing giveaways, right? There is a Bulbasaur, a Psyduck, and a Snubbull that are going to be given away at various locations, which you can see right here on Poke Beach. So I think that this is very cool, right? We've got USA is going to be giving the Bulbasaur away at Walmart, the Psyduck away at Target, and the Snubbull away at GameStop, which is super cool. And then, of course, we have got the Detective Pikachu products, which I think look absolutely incredible. This case file thing is super cool. I think the pack art looks phenomenal as well, just very, very rad. There's another Detective Pikachu card here, which is just, oh my gosh, this thing looks adorable. I love like the fact that he's got the yarn in the background, all that. You can tell he's looking to solve some cases. Brilliant deduction. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck and put one of them into your hand, shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Very, very cool. And of course, Charizard GX and Greninja GX, 2 of the 3 Pokemon GX that are going to be available from this set. We've also got Mewtwo GX, which was revealed as well. Charizard GX has 250 hit points. I think the artwork on this thing is stunning. I definitely want to get this card in a PSA 10. I think it will just make an amazing piece for any collection. I would love to PSA grade this card, and what a unique Charizard card. I feel like there'll never be another Charizard quite like this, right? So a unique addition to any collection. Absolutely cool. It's got an attack, Raging Destruction. Discard the top 8 cards of your deck. If any of those cards are fire energy cards attached to this Pokemon. Steam Artillery, 200 damage for 5 energy, and then Dreadful Flames GX, 250 damage for 5. Discard energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon. Not a great Charizard, I'm not going to lie. I think the attacks on this thing are a little bit underpowered. 200 damage just doesn't quite do it anymore in the realm of Tag Team Pokemon GX that are just doing way more damage and have way more hit points. So 200 doesn't quite cut it anymore, but I do think it is a very cool card, and I definitely want it for my collection. Greninja GX, 230 hit point, has an ability, Elusive Master, which I think is very cool. Once during your turn before you attack, this Pokemon is the last card in your hand. You may play it onto your bench. If you do, draw 3 cards. Never really seen a Pokemon with an ability quite like that. I really like it. Allows you to spring this Pokemon into play. Kind of like Archie's, right? Archie's Ace in the Hole, which we just saw at the North Carolina Regional Championships, the Greensboro Regional Championships. Azul got 2nd place with that deck. Elusive Master, kind of similar in that this card has to be the last card in your hand, and then you can play it put it into play, which is super cool, right, for a stage 2 Pokemon, and allows you to draw 3 cards. So very, very neat. Unfortunately, I don't think that the attacks are super powerful for a stage 2 GX Pokemon. Miss Slash does 130 damage and is not affected by weakness or resistance. And then Dark Mist, put one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your opponent's hand. I would rather Dark Mist GX do like back to the deck like Tapu Fini GX or something like that. And then Miss Slash is a little bit underpowered as well. However, for only 2 energy, 130 damage, not all that bad. I think the best part about this card is that Elusive Master ability. And then, of course, we do have Mewtwo GX, which is very, very cool. Look at that packaging there. The Pikachu is just so unbelievably cute. And it's got 190 hit points and 3 attacks. Telekinesis, this attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon and is not affected by weakness or resistance. Raining Pulse, 120 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. And Psychic Nova GX, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks during your opponent's next turn. I think that Psychic Nova GX is very cool. Kind of reminds me of Dawn Wings GX attack. However, You don't have to be behind on prizes, which is super cool, and it still does 180 damage, only costing 1 more energy. So a very cool Pokemon, could make its way into some Malamar decks, but I think that it's probably outclassed by some other options. All in all, of the Detective Pikachu cards, I think they are all very cool. I think the artwork looks amazing. I really want this Charizard for my collection and to PSA grade it and try to get it in a 10, but I think the best card is, of course, this Ditto with that copy anything attack, and I think that this could even creep into some competitive decks. So very cool set. All in all, I'm excited about the movie. I think that it's going to be super rad, giving away movie tickets on stream, twitch.tv/TrickyJim, as well as at our Full Grip Games Wednesday night tournament. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Big shout out to PokeBeach for providing, honestly, the best Pokemon news on the internet. Love this website. I actually got started with my content creating career writing articles for PokeBeach. So I've written a bunch for them. Love these guys here at PokeBeach. They do a phenomenal job. So highly recommend this website if you have not checked it out in the past. Thank you all for watching the video, and let me know, what do you guys think of the Detective Pikachu set in the comments below. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell. Check out fullgripgames.com for all your trading card game needs, as well as pokebeach.com for all of your trading card game news. Thank you all for watching. Peace.